What's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. It's Monday, so you know what that means. It is time to buy some more dividend paying stocks. If you've been following this journey, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so that you do not miss future videos. Also, please click the like button to help grow this channel and get the word out on dividend growth investing, getting paid just for owning stocks. This is what dividend growth investing is all about. This is my weekly buy video, and my current strategy is to deposit $100 of my own money per week and let the portfolio do the heavy lifting for me going forward. All dividends received will be reinvested back into that stock from which it was received. My goal is to put this money to work for me in the long term to build a growing and reliable income stream, one that does not rely on the volatility of the stock market. I'm a long-term buy and hold investor who focuses primarily on individual blue chip stocks as well as ETFs and CEFs. What we're looking at right now is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account. This is about 15% of my total net worth, and I have it broken up into 3 different pies. I'll leave a link below so you can see what those individual stocks are. And right now they're invested in a total of 55 different positions. And I'll just scroll through these really quickly. SCHD is the largest position in this portfolio. I'm going to scroll down. These are probably household names, most of these that you recognize. So these are pretty standard ones here. So you can see Pinnacle West. That is my smallest position right now. So we'll go back to the portfolio page. We'll just take a look at the recent performance, like the last year. You can see last year we were well below the $200,000 mark. And late October, it was back down to the low 190s, and it looks like we've just kind of been on an upward trajectory ever since, but the last week or two has been flat or going down. I was really close to that 240 mark, but we went down and up a little bit. So right now we're at $237,234, and this is going to be changing. This is live, and I also timed this video to the actual buy, and we'll see. Hopefully in the activity log it does show it. Yep, there's the 5 buys. But before I go to that, in the morning I did some trading. I had some dividends that I woke up with on Saturday morning from Avista for $25.37, Hershey's for $7.98, O'Reilly $12.08, and then McDonald's $11.41. Of course, these were dripped right back into those positions. So my dividends are just going to keep going up for Avista, Hershey's, O, and McDonald's as a result. I'll show you that as well, how that is going to go up with those dividend drips. And then the 5 buys, that's the $100 I talked about in the intro. And what I did was I picked 5 companies and put $20 in them a piece. Of course, what I'm picking, this is not investment advice. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, and I'm just doing a little bit of bolstering of my current positions. So these are existing companies within my stock portfolio. Once it loads up and one's not cooperating, here we go. So first one, Apple, $20, then Fifth Third, $20, Cisco, $20, Best Buy, $20, and JP Morgan. So those were the 5 buys. And what I want to show you is 2 things today. Is one, the dividend drips, what that did to my income, as well as these 5 buys. So that's what we're going to go over right now. But I'm going to show you a Google Docs spreadsheet where I track all of my stocks, the 55 positions in this portfolio. And you can see I have the company, ticker symbol, share price, number of shares. And I'm going to show you how the number of shares and cost basis, I'm going to update that for the companies where I dripped in fractional shares and where I purchased fractional shares in those 5 other companies. We can see the market value of each, my cost basis. You can see if we have a gain or loss for each. A couple of the positions I do have a loss. You can see Black Hills. I have a slight loss there. And we can see the percent gain or loss as well. You can see like companies like Caterpillar, I've more than doubled my investment on that one. KKR close to doubling my money there. You can see things like PNC just barely above break even there at 4.62%. Here's the quarterly dividends per share per company. The companies highlighted in blue, Realty Income, BST, those are monthly payers. I have those highlighted in blue. You can see the current yield percentage. If I were to buy more shares of, say, Fifth Third Bancorp, that's the current yield percentage. This is the yield on my cost for the shares that I own, the 48 shares there. And of course, I want to know when I'm going to get paid. That's the pay date there. And I want to know how much I'm going to get paid, so I track that as well. And we are in March, so we are in the dark greens. We are in the last month of quarter one. So what I do is I break it down by month and I color code them. You can see January, that's the light colored green. February would be the medium green, and we're in March, and so we're in the dark greens. And these are the actual dividends I've received so far in March, and there's a bunch to go. But let's just do a quick count up here. Just drag over here and just do a quick count up. So far in March, I've received $200.52. And here are the remaining companies I have left to pay. We can see one of them is SCHD. And I'm going to probably do a video on this because in the next couple days, SCHD is going to announce their Q1 2024 dividend. And I can tell you right now, it's not going to be 74 cents. I am predicting 62 cents. And that's going to drop my dividend income, at least temporarily, because SCHD historically has announced a lower dividend in the first quarter, but usually Q2, Q3, especially Q4 is a lot higher. So this is still Q4 at 74 cents. So we're going to see a drop in this. It could be a $700 right around there. I'm hoping it's more, but I doubt it's going to be the 74 cents, just the way SCHD pays out. So I'm also expecting BST as well later in the month, and it's going to be right around this amount. It's going to be at 460, right around there. So that's a nice dividend to get each and every month. You can see the total dividends as well. I've received over $5,000 just from BST alone, and it just keeps going up, and I keep reinvesting it back into BST. So I've had stock appreciation in the stock price as well as those dividends for a total return so far of over 20% on that one. So it's been great. It's actually been better than SCHD has, and SCHD has returned to a pretty good place. It's still not at its all-time high at 78.81. Their all-time high of SCHD is, I'm scrolling down here, the high watermark is 82.48. So we're still over 4% off of our highs for SCHD. And VTI, I use that as kind of tracking the stock market. We're over 4% over all-time highs in the stock market. So, and I have little things like here, like these links here for dividend raises. I track those because a lot of these dividend stocks I own, those dividends per share, those go up annually. Most of them do. And I check the dividend declarations when they announce those, and I update those dates, and then I rearrange them accordingly by the pay date. So everything on this sheet, and I'll leave a link below to this sheet. You're welcome to use it, copy it, put in your own companies as well. You'll have to look up some of the information yourself, like your dividend per share, and also put in your company name and things like that. But the ticker symbol, I believe it's pulling with a Google Finance function. It's going to use the ticker symbol to come up with that share price. So a little bit if it's automated, but take a look at some of it's hard coded. So some of it for your own stocks that differ, you're going to have to put in your own information in there. But a lot of it's calculated, like the yield percentage and things like that, and the yield on your cost once you put in your own cost basis and things like that. Then the estimated dividend. This is the high watermark we've bought up to. So these are going to change. Like for example, let's take a look. Like right here, Prudential paid me on the 15th. It paid me $44.71. But since I dripped in that $44.71. My next dividend with Prudential, if they don't raise their dividend, it's going to be $45.23. So we're going to see these go up right here. All these from the 16th where I've dripped these for McDonald's, Hershey's, Realty Income, and Avista. So we're going to see the result of that, as well as the 5 buys I had, where that's going to affect the monthly cash flow average. It's also going to increase the quarterly as well as the annual. So let's go ahead and grab that data. So this is our starting point, is 933.31. We're going to see that go up here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste in some data into the M1 data tab, which tracks the number of shares and my cost basis. So for SCHD, you can see it's pulling the number of shares. I own 1,140 in this portfolio. You can see there's my cost basis right there. So when I do a paste special in this A column of all my data from M1, it's going to align the shares and cost basis for all of my positions from largest to smallest. So let's go ahead and grab that data. I'm going to go over to the Holdings tab and grab everything starting from name. And the reason I do this is so I don't have to type in my number of shares manually or the cost basis, or use a service that uses like Plaid or things like that that's going to grab data from M1 or whatever brokerage account, and it doesn't do it instantly. Those services don't. This is instant. So pay special values only. It's only going to update those positions where I bought the fractional shares. I think we were at 933.31. We're at 933.78, and it also increased the annual. It was at 11,190 something, so it went up to 11,205. But we're going to track that. We're going to put this value to 933.78. We're going to put this over here on the monthly average dividend tracking. And scroll down here. Every event I track on this sheet. So there is the 933.78. Remember, we started at 933.31, and we're going to get the incremental change in my monthly income. So by depositing $100 and picking those 5 different companies at $20 each, that's the $100 deposit, and then the McDonald's, Hershey, Avista drips, I added 47 cents of monthly income for a total now at $933.78, getting really close to that $1,000. And then tomorrow I'll have an event, which is Duke. Duke is going to pay me a dividend. I'm going to drip that in, and it's going to add to this. It's probably just going to be a few cents, maybe a nickel, something like that. But I have events all the time when I'm dripping in dividends. You can see just there's like in the on tomorrow, and then the 22nd I'll have 2 more dividends, and then the day after that a dividend, and then on the 26th I'll get SCHD. So that $13.94 is going to arrive tomorrow. I'm just going to wake up and it's going to appear there, and I will reinvest that back into Duke Energy. But let's take a look at these dividend drips. Remember, I got paid starting with McDonald's $11.41, so McDonald's now will pay me $11.48 the next time. That will be in June. And then Hershey's is now over $8. It was $7.98. That's what it just paid me. Next time it'll pay me $8.04, and so on. You can see how it's going to pay me just more and more money. Avista, of course, since that was a larger drip, and also the dividends over 5%, it added a little bit more, so $25.75. So it's more significant with that increase. So let's go over to the Dividend Tracker tab, and this tab has been tracking historical data of the portfolio since January 2021. That's when I started doing these videos. We can see the portfolio value was $18,700. You can see my first dividends tracked were there. Let's just scroll down to where we're at now. On the larger months, you can see that's the last month of every quarter, which is March, June, September, and December. Those are my big months. You can see how those are. December was over $1,500. I'm predicting in March it's going to be about the $1,400 mark. since SCHD pays its largest dividend in December, it really affects this portfolio. But if we take a look at what I got paid last March, it was $12.64. So you can see with the, I'm predicting about $14.50 right around there. Well, we'll see though. I'll do a video on that once I get my last video, or once I get my last dividend in March. You'll see what the result was there. So we can see here's the dividends I've received so far in March. You can see the current portfolio value rounded to the nearest hundredth. And here's what I've received so far in Q1. This is still ongoing. I have not received all my dividends in March. Here's my current average monthly dividend. I like to really track this because I like to see progress. And you can see how the payments are a little bit lumpy, where I have small, small, large, small, small, large. But as long as I keep buying more shares of dividend paying stock, this is going to go up, with the exception of when SCHD announces their lower dividend, which I'm predicting. It's actually going to, I think that it's going to have a net loss in my monthly increase once that's announced, but it's going to recover in June, and especially in September, and really especially in December, because historically SCHD pays its largest dividend in December. So I will momentarily show a loss in my monthly increase, but it's going to recover and some. But so far for this month, I've increased my monthly dividend income by $4.79 for a month-over-month gain of 0.52%. We can see here is what this dividend portfolio is producing annually. It's producing right now $11,205 in income. That's if I don't add another penny. Going forward, that's what it's going to produce for me. Here's what I've increased the annual income by just in the month of March. And we're on the third week, so $300. So I added the extra $100 there. And the last tab I'm going to show you is my total net worth. And rather than rely on an app to track my net worth that has all my passwords and everything else, really, if most of your investments are ticker symbols and number of shares. So again, I do the same thing with the Google Finance function. I put my tickers in of my investments at Vanguard, update the number of shares. I do have to go pull that information, same with my 401k. And I have an M1 IRA as well. And like I said, the dividend portfolio I was showing you before, that's only 15% of my net worth. Here is the rest of it. And you can see it's mostly in ETFs, in boring things like VTI, and a little bit of bonds in there, also international exposure as well. And my 401k, it's an S&P 500 is where most of my money is going into. Just boring investments like that. That's the bulk of what I'm invested in. It's been just a slow grind, but it's been a slow and steady build up to wealth. We can see here I even put in my savings account in here. I'll put liabilities. Here's the current balance of my credit card. And we can see here's my net worth right now, over 1.5 million. This keeps going up and down, and it can vary month to month. It can be up 50,000, it can be down 50,000, or anything in between. And I expect that just because of what my holdings are. And you can see it's things like home equity and of course my savings. Those are going to be the things that are more stable. But everything else, since I'm in the stock market heavily, is really going to fluctuate. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys, is what I bought this week and what the impact was on my monthly income. Again, here, Apple, Fifth Third, Cisco, Best Buy, and JP Morgan. Those are my selections, and also show you my net worth as well. So thanks everybody for sticking to the end. If you got value from this video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. Also let me know in the comments below what you're buying this week. I always like to see what everyone else is buying, so let me know. Everyone, take care. Have a great day.